is measurement of slip of induction motor. Okay, so you already studied about slip ring induction motor. You can see this is about slip ring induction motor. So this is basically measurement of slip. So you can see from the second slide, see this is experiment number 4 actually. So we are starting from here. So aim is to calculate the slip of 3-phase slip ring induction motor. And what are the apparatus required? You can see galvanometer is there, tachometer is there for measurement of speed, stopwatch. We will require variable resistive load is there, connecting wires will be there, and 3-phase slip ring induction motor will be there. Okay, so basically, you know, we have to measure the slip in this practical. Okay, and this is basically a slip ring induction motor. You can see from the circuit diagram, this is the circuit diagram. This is the circuit diagram. You can see what is the difference. Can you tell us what is the difference between a squirrel cage and slip ring induction motor? What is the difference? In slip ring induction motor there will be, what is the difference? There will be slip rings. Okay, you can see in the diagram there will be slip rings on the shaft. So here you can see this is the circuit diagram. See here, this is the circuit diagram of this practical, and these are the stator armature winding which is delta connected. See here, RYB, these are 3 phases, and this is the stator armature winding which is delta connected, and these are inside this delta winding. You see, this is the rotor windings of slip ring induction motor. It is also called rotor armature winding, and there are 3 slips. Okay, there are 3 slip rings, and 3 variable resistances you can see from here. So these are the 3 variable resistances connected through brush and slip ring. Okay, you see, because why these resistances are connected? In order to increase the starting torque, we apply variable resistances to the slip ring induction motor, because there is a formula in which the starting torque of slip ring induction motor is directly proportional to starting resistance. So that's why in order to increase the starting torque in slip ring induction motor, we provide variable resistance. So you can see this is the star connected rotor winding, and these windings are called rotor armature windings. Okay, which are placed inside rotor slots. You see, you can see, and there will be 3 slip rings. Okay, and these rotor variable resistances are provided to these rotor armature circuit in order to increase torque through brushes and slip rings. And this is a small galvanometer. You can see this is a small galvanometer which is connected between this point and this point. Okay, which will measure the actually frequency oscillations of rotor EMF. Okay, so this is the setup of the circuit, and also we will watch the video, the lab demonstration video which I recorded for you. Okay, and then these are the, you can go through these slides. These are the theory you already studied in your theory classes. An induction motor. Okay, what is the synchronous speed? This is synchronous speed. You already know. When balanced 3-phase voltage is applied to the stator windings, then a rotating magnetic field of constant amplitude is produced in the air gap, and the flux of this field so produced rotates at a speed called synchronous speed, which can be given by ns equal to 120 f upon p rpm. So you already know the synchronous speed. So there will be a rotating magnetic field. You also call it synchronous speed, and you can calculate the speed of this by using this formula, where f is the stator frequency, f1, p number of poles. And what is the slip? You already studied about slip. The relative speed between rotor and field flux is called slip speed, and slip is dependent on ratio of slip speed of synchronous speed, and it is given by S equal to ns minus nr upon ns. Okay, so you can see here on the screen, this is the formula of slip, where rotor speed you can calculate from this formula 1 minus s into ns and then c. Okay, so this is the same formula, and there is another relation of slip. You see, this is rotor frequency f2 and this is stator frequency. So the another formula of slip, so it is also given by, it is the ratio of rotor frequency to stator frequency, fr upon f, or you can also write f2 upon f1. So it is also the slip. See here, fr is rotor frequency, EMF generated in rotor, and f1 is frequency of supply. So now what we will do in this experiment, we will measure this slip, okay, by our measurement by using galvanometer, and we will also calculate slip by calculation and then verify, okay, whether there is any change, or not. And see here, you can see this is the observation table, you can see, where we will measure the oscillations of EMF rotor oscillations. This is basically the first column, you can see number of cycles in 10 seconds. So these will give the rotor EMF frequency. Okay, we will measure the oscillations which is taking place in rotor in 10 seconds, which will tell us the rotor frequency, and then we will measure rotor speed. See here in RPM, this is rotor speed, so we will measure rotor speed by using tachometer in RPM. So that will give us the speed of motor. Speed of motor. Okay, see here. And then slip, we will calculate slip theoretical and then practical by measurement. This is the column where we will calculate slip by our formula. So that is called theoretical process, and this is practical, means by measurement we will calculate slip, and then at last we will calculate percentage error. You see, this is at right side, percentage error, whether these slips will match or not. So how much difference is there? Any difference will be there, so we will calculate percentage error. So you can go through the procedure. What is the procedure? See here, connect. This is the procedure, you can see. Okay, and these PPT I will share with you. Okay, I will send you these PPT. So see here, procedure: connect the apparatus as shown in the diagram, then set any suitable balance load, turn on the motor and note the deflection in the galvanometer for 10 seconds. See here, this is the galvanometer. Okay, we have connected this galvanometer in the rotor circuit. Okay, in the rotor circuit. So this will tell us the oscillations of rotor EMF, means rotor frequency F2. We will measure rotor frequency F2 from this. Okay, then third step, repeat above step for different loads. Okay, then we will increase the load. Okay, then again we will measure the galvanometer. Okay, again we will measure the rotor frequency and then calculate the slip. Okay, so now I will play, and these are the observation table and these are the actual readings. I have taken this from a student's copy. You can see these are the actual readings. So after performance of this practical, we get all these readings. Okay, so you can also go through these. So here we have calculated percentage errors. You can see this is the rotor speed in RPM. We measured by using tachometer at different loads. See here, speed is decreasing. So we have applied some load on the rotor. Okay, it is not mechanical load, but it is the electrical load. We applied electrical load resistances during running condition. Okay, so speed will decrease. What happens if slip ring induction motor is running and you apply rotor resistance? So speed will decrease. Okay, but at the time of starting, when you apply rotor resistance, speed will increase. So there is a difference. And then these are the cycles we measured in 10 seconds. These are rotor oscillations, 11, 12, 16, you can see. And then we calculated slip. You already know synchronous speed is 1500 rpm, and then rotor speed, these are the rotor speed we have taken from here in this column. Okay, from this column we have taken these readings and calculated slip. And another formula for slip is F2 upon F1. Okay, so F1 is 50 hertz, and then F2 we calculated see here, F2 is in cycle per second. So here we have put, this is 10 cycle, this is 11 cycle per 10 seconds. Okay, these are 11 cycles per 10 seconds. So just divide 11 upon 10. So it will become 1.1 cycle per second. So it will be FR or F2, and then divide it by 50. So you will get another slip 0.02. So this is the calculation by theoretical method, and this is the calculation by practical method. Then there is a difference, you can see here. By theoretical process, it is the value of slip is 0.0193, and for measurement 0.02. Then we will calculate percentage error. Okay, so and then we will apply load, and these are different sets of readings we will get. Okay, and these are the calculations. You can go through the PPT. I will share it with you. Okay, now I will play the video. Okay, so let's watch how it is being performed in the lab. Okay, this is called measurement of slip of 3-phase induction motor, slip ring induction motor. You can see. Okay, now you can see. Please bear with us. My laptop is slow actually. Now the speed is very slow. Okay, I will play in this video by. Okay, so in another application we will play this video, and you can see. So you can see this is the starting of induction motor. You can see this is the MCB panel. Okay, this is the miniature circuit board. So we are starting the motor. Okay, and this is the practical measurement of slip in slip ring induction motor. See, so we are starting the motor. So see, these are the 3 slip rings. You can see clearly. Okay, these are in brownish color. See, these are the 3 slip rings. These are the 3 slip rings mounted on the shaft. You can see this is the this is slip ring induction motor. So these are, okay, these are the 3 slip rings, and with these 3 slip rings there will be brushes, okay, attached or in contact with these slip rings, and we will provide starting resistances. Okay, so these are the starting resistances. Okay, see here, these are the resistive loads. Okay, and these are the switches. So these switches are initially turned on. So full resistances are provided at the time of starting. You can see we have switched on these resistances, and full resistances are provided in order to increase the torque. okay, in slip ring induction motor, and then we will measure the, we have connected the galvanometer in the rotor circuit. You can see galvanometer. These are the resistive loads, okay, and you can see this is the galvanometer, and here we have formed delta connection. And guys, here you can see this is the galvanometer, you can see, which is connected, okay, in the rotor circuit in order to measure the rotor frequency. And you can also see the oscillations of pointer. Okay, and then delta connected winding. You can see these are the stator armature winding connections, and we have connected delta in delta. Okay, these windings are connected in delta of stator armature winding, and you can call it stator armature winding connected in delta, okay, as per the circuit diagram. And then you see, and this is the galvanometer which is measuring the oscillations. You see the pointer, okay, just concentrate. See, this is the oscillation taking place when no load is applied. Okay, when we apply load, resistive load in the rotor circuit, then see the rotor oscillations. Okay, in 10 seconds we will measure the oscillation. So see, so you can again see this is the oscillation taking place in the galvanometer, and this is the switch through which we can disconnect it. And now see, okay, now see what sir is doing. Sir is, so we have measured the oscillations and the speed. Also we will measure the speed through tachometer, okay. And now what we are doing, sir is applying some load by switching off. See here from this side, we have switched off some resistive loads, and then we are applying resistive load. Then see the oscillations. Then see the oscillations. Okay, the oscillation will be different in 10 seconds. So in 10 seconds we have to measure oscillations, and we will note it down in our observation table. See, so after each set of load, we will measure the oscillation of galvanometer. And we will repeat this process. We will switch step by step. We are switching off the load, we are switching off the resistive load. See again, and then again we will measure the oscillation. So it is increasing. See here, the oscillations have been increased. Again we will switch, turn off these switches, and then you will see the oscillations will be increased. Okay, so we have to just note it down, all the readings. So these are the measurement by galvanometer. Okay, so now what we do, also we will measure the speed by using tachometer. Okay, so this was the lab practical. And then what we will do, we will just calculate the speed. See here, we will just calculate the speed one by theoretical procedure, because we have measured the speed. Okay, we have measured the speed by using tachometer. Okay, you can see this 1471, 1466, these are the speed, and these are the oscillations, rotor oscillations, what we measured. And then take this first set of readings Okay, then see f2 will become 11 upon 10. Okay, so 1.1 cycle per second. This will be the rotor frequency divided by stator frequency, and then it will be equal to 0.02, and then there is a mismatch in the slip, and then we will at last calculate percentage error. Okay, so we will do the same for all the set of readings. So you can go through these PPT and see these are the different calculation for different set of readings.